Welcome to Cosmic Conversations, the podcast where spirituality meets real life. I'm Siobhan, your host, aka the Cosmic Coach, and this is a space where we are going to explore the layers of what make us truly who we are. There's going to be a series of solo episodes along with some incredible guests, a space where we can truly discuss the universe within us all. Ciara Ashwell, welcome back to Cosmic Conversations. I think you probably are the most requested and loved and adored guest I have had on. Your episode, no surprise, did amazing. So I'm so delighted to have you back, and I'm sure many of the listeners are as well.
I'm excited to be here.
I know, I cannot wait for
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we've got some lovely things to chat about today. But I suppose the first and foremost was kind of the biggest thing since we last spoke was you have launched your online community.
Yes, my Soul Star Sanctuary.
Oh my God,
Yeah, we
tell us.
launched in October. Yeah, it's going amazing. So yeah, we launched in October. And as I said to you before, I just always had this vision of building a community for people going through their spiritual awakening when, you know, at any stage. It can be just starting at your spiritual awakening, well into your spiritual awakening. But I kind of made a promise to myself that, well, I knew it was part of my soul's mission anyway, is to do this work with people. And yeah, the idea, I suppose, was downloaded to me or channeled to me by my guides about creating this community space where people can just come together and have loads of resources there just to help you on your spiritual awakening journey, and lots of activations to, you know, activate your gifts and live events. And it's going so well. I'm loving it now.
Oh, it's like, and you have like guests on and stuff, don't you? Like,
Yeah, we do guest speakers. I had the beautiful Valeria Smith, who I worked with. She was one of my mentors for finding out my soul origins. I had her on there a couple of weeks ago, and we had a chat about all things galactic. She's amazing. Yeah, so I've guest speakers on and different events every month. We do two live events every month. So yeah, the next one now is in a couple of weeks. I'm going to do like a cacao ceremony with conscious connected breathwork and all of that. So yeah, it's beautiful.
oh, that'd be lovely. And if anyone wants to join, then is it through your website?
Yeah, just you can join through my website or up through my link on Instagram.
I
Yeah.
think, like you said, it's nice for people, especially going through their spiritual awakening. I know we mentioned before, like in previous episode, that it can be like real lonely and even a little bit like scary, like what's going on? Why am I questioning everything? So it'd be so lovely to have that space where everyone comes
Yeah.
together, different points in their journey, and they're all connecting, like you said, twice a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, and we have a community forum where people can just have the chats and talk about different things, and yeah, so it's going amazing. I'm delighted with it.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
Thank you.
And for today, I know we have some lovely things to chat about. But in honor of the time of year and Christmas coming up, I think it would be nice to talk about none other than Jesus Christ or Yeshua. I know we kind of touched off him in the last episode, but I think there's so much more that we could talk about with him.
Yeah.
And I was only filling Ciara in on before we jumped onto this podcast was, funny enough, I've just done my level 5 with Debbie Boyle. Those of you who listen know I always talk about Debbie. So I recently got attuned to Jesus and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, and so it feels very very aligned. This is happening
Aligned.
now, and because they're very much in my life, and so yeah, I feel like, yeah, should we just get right into it? Like, who is Jesus?
Yeah.
What is your relationship with him?
Okay, so I've never been a religious person, and that's okay. Everybody, you know, there's no right, there's no wrong. That just personally myself, I've never really felt connected to the religion aspect. I love churches. I'd go and I'll sit in the church, especially, you know, if you're abroad and there's a beautiful church, and I'll go in and sit in it. But I never had a connection to the religious aspects of the church. So I didn't really know too much about Yeshua and Mary Magdalene up until a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago or so, 5 or 6 years ago, when I really started to connect in with them. And what happened was I had one of my activations, one of my nighttime activations. I know we talked about this before. This happens to me regularly. And it was one of my guides came to me and said, it's now time that I work with an ascended master. And I said, okay, who do you want me to work with? Like, and they said, Yeshua, Jesus. So immediately I was like, no, like who? I'm not religious. I'm not like, who am I to? And they were like, that's not who Yeshua is. And they're like, it's your time to work with him. And I've never forget it. I turned around and my Reiki master was there, and I said, they want me to work with Jesus. And she said, that's not how it works. And I remember she put her hand up and this big ball of light came into her hand. And then she turned around to me and put the ball of light and I'm awake for this, by the way. It wasn't like a lucid dream or anything. The ball of light went into my forehead. And my head went back like that. And I could just see all of these symbols and signs. And I had no clue what it meant. And it was going so fast. And I was like, slow down, slow down. I was starting to get a little bit like my heart was pumping. I was like, slow down. I don't understand what this means. And like, it's going too fast. And then I just heard in my ear, you'll remember. And then I just came out of it and I was like, what was that? And that was the start of my relationship with Yeshua. So I again, just through activations. And I think that's a lot. Like, obviously I do a lot of research as well. But I also get a lot of downloads, and I think that's a lot where a lot of the information, because people always say, where did you get your information from? And it's kind of like a mix of stuff that's downloaded to me from my guides, and then I'll go and kind of research it and that type of stuff. So when I started working with Yeshua, this ascended master, I just then, I was like, right, I need to find out all about him, and some of the information was given to me from my guides, and then some of the information I had researched as well. But from my relationship with Yeshua, he is an ascended master. So the ascended masters are there's loads of ascended masters, but they would have been humans who had an earthly lifetime, and then they fully ascended, and that's ascended master. So we've loads of ascended masters,
like the archangels.
Exactly. So he is a multi-dimensional starseed, which not everybody knows. And a lot of people feel he's Palladian, or a lot of people say he's Syrian. He's actually multi-dimensional. He's been everywhere, all over the galaxy. He actually comes from the Elohim lineage, and he would have trained all over the cosmos before he came here for his earthly life. So he a lot of the places he would have trained a lot with the mystery schools in Sirius A, which is where a lot of the ascended masters would have gone to learn everything. And he's part down on when he came on Earth. Then when he incarnated with Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, he was part of the Essenes, which is the sisterhood priesthood. It's like the ancient mystical order. Who's linked to the mystery schools of Sirius A, and these are these teachings that would have been passed down then to the Atlanteans, and then it would have been passed down. Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, and Mother Mary would have been part of the Essenes here when they lived here on Earth, and the Essenes they hold the knowledge, that sacred knowledge of divine conception, the sacred feminine. They were really devoted to their spiritual discipline, and they would have had all of the teachings from the mystery schools in Sirius A. They would have worked with them here on Earth. So really, they would have been the Essenes groups would have been found a lot in the desert regions here, but very much so linked to Sirius A, the Pleiades, Andromeda, and Venus. Yeshua would have links to all of those places as well. He's very one of his first incarnations was in Venus, but his energy is very Syrian, Pleiadian, Andromeda, and he's a mix of everything. So that's when I started working with his energy and kind of looking into him. And, as I said, I never realized he was a starseed, and the same with Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary. So yeah, it was just really fascinating. And I've worked with him kind of ever since then. I always call him in as part of my healings, and his energy is very strong. He's coming in for a lot of people. Same with Mary Magdalene's energy as well. um, so yeah, it's just really fascinating.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. Like, even you're saying like him coming in, I wonder if it like is to do with the time of year, because there is a big emphasis around Jesus this time of year, and kind of, I suppose, more the religious side of it. And like you were saying that you didn't resonate with the religious side of it, but you had this connection with him, and he was so
Now,
multidimensional.
and I will say, Yeshua never wanted to be part of a religion. That was all put on him by man after he ascended. He was never wanted to be worshipped. He never, that the whole story of Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary was completely twisted and changed for the benefit of man. So he never wanted to be worshipped. And in fact, I remember one time when I first started working with his energy, and his energy came in really strong, and I just kept getting this message: I am not here to be worshipped. You are me, I am you. We are one. And
Wow.
he actually showed me at one time when I was really deep in like an activation, that it was like he showed. And again, this is out of no disrespect to people who may be listening who are very religious. I know people get a lot of comfort out of religion, and that's totally okay. But this is just my experience, and what was shown to me. But he showed me that it was like it was like I walked into a church. And as I said, I love going to churches. If I'm away or I'm anywhere and there's a beautiful church, I'll go and I'll just sit in the energy. But he showed me walking into a church when there was like a service on, and like just this veil came over my third eye. So I still don't really understand what the message was. I took it.
Oh,
Yeah, and I remember being really confused by that, going, well, what was that supposed to be? But like, he does bring across the message very strongly that he was never wanted to be tied to a religion. He came here with a mission with Mary Magdalene, with Mother Mary, and that was to bring Christ consciousness to the earth. And that's what they came here to do. And they had all this training up in the galactics before to prepare him for his earthly mission. And that's what they came here to do. He never wanted to be part of a religion, or even the name Jesus Christ. His name is Yeshua. The name Jesus Christ was given to him by man after, so everything was kind of put, as a form of control and stuff,
yeah.
as the old story goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we think about the church. It's like, I know back in like the olden days, or like parents and grandparents, they would have like, the priest would have been like seen as like the closest thing to God, or like really the highest person in society, and like you said, there's so much comfort with religion and going to church, and I'd be the similar. Like, I'd love to go into the church and I'd love to look at the mosaics and the glass. I'm like, wow. But there's something about like the control and the you're a sinner, and not having children out of wedlock, and everything that happened with the Magdalene laundries, and I'm just like, there's so much of it that I'm like, that doesn't feel like love. Like,
No,
do you know what I
and that
mean?
was never what he wanted ever. Like the whole idea of it is ludicrous from how he is as a being.
Yeah.
Like, he is so the opposite of judgment, so the opposite of you can't do this or you're going to do that. Like, that is just
Yeah.
not his energy at all. It was like this was put on him after he ascended, and again as a form of control by the church. So yeah, his energy is really beautiful. And like, I know people, I've actually never read the Bible, not just because I've just never ever read it, but I know in the Bible there's the talk of Jesus returning and all that type of stuff, and it's not Jesus returning physically, as some believe. It's the Christ consciousness is returning, which is exactly what's happening as we're going through this ascension process. We're going into Christ consciousness, 5D consciousness. But some people obviously think he's literally returning. Now, I've tuned in and asked my guides, is he incarnated again? And is he, and the message I'm getting, again, this could be wrong, but the message I'm getting is no, that he hasn't, that he will do when we move into this beautiful new earth that we're heading into, but at the minute he's not incarnated at the minute. So as I said, I don't know, that's just the information I'm getting. I could be wrong on that, but my gut feels he hasn't incarnated again, but he's still helping us lots from up there, like
yeah. And we're all, I suppose, people on a spiritual awakening are achieving that Christ consciousness. And like, how would you explain what Christ consciousness is to someone who's maybe listening and is like, what is that?
It's a hard one to explain, isn't it? Your Christ consciousness is, that 5D consciousness. I know when people talk about 5D, they can get very confused. 3D, 5D, like what is it?
Yeah.
So Christ consciousness to me is just that elevated state of consciousness where you're just pure love. You've ascended everything else. You've ascended all of those 3D, the 3D matrix, all the, all those lower vibrational feelings that we feel, the emotions, the fear, the anger, that's all the 3D matrix stuff that we're living in. And that 5D consciousness is totally ascending through that into pure love, just pure love. There's no other really way I could explain it, is pure, unconditional love, pure love.
Yeah, and it's like my feeling of it would be like the feeling within, like it's something that you feel. And I think like, going through like my own spiritual process and connecting with my angels and Mother Earth and Cacao, and it's all like this deep sense of peace. And a big thing that I get when I feel Jesus come through, I felt him come through maybe a couple of years ago, but now obviously in more recent times as I'm like intentionally welcoming that energy in, and it's all fine timing, but it's like that real sense of like, I get like almost like emotional when I feel his presence, because I just feel really like I'm so loved.
Yeah.
I am so loved. Like it's just like he just loves you, and I'm just like, I can't explain it. It's like he just sees you for everything that you are, and it's just, I do really feel like his presence. So it probably sounds so weird. Like I'm like, oh, I'm so acquainted with like the angels now. I'm like, oh, hey, like that's you know what I mean? But Jesus, I'm like, oh my God, like it's you. And it's not even that sense that I put him on a pedestal, but it's just like the energy of like that, the heart. I just feel so much heart with it. And it's the real message of, like you said though, it's like the I am, like it's like I'm feeling this, I'm achieving this, and it's like he's here to help us ascend and achieve that Christ consciousness that he achieved. And I think, like, to echo what you were saying earlier, like he didn't want to be worshipped and seen as like above society. Like, no, I'm trying to tell you that we can
I'm
all
one of you. Yes, look, we all have Christ consciousness within us. We all have that God spark within our soul. Every soul on the planet has it. We all have access to it, and that is what that was his whole mission, was for us to understand that we have that Christ consciousness within. We don't have to go out and look for it out there. It's within, and it can be activated. And that was his message, really. But yeah, his energy is beautiful. But I did have that, like when I first had, and they were like, "You're going to work with Jesus." I was like, oh, "Who am I to work?" Like it's that, like, who am I to work? And like his energy is like, no, that's like I am you, you are me, we are one. It is no, he, as I said, he really gives that message clear. He doesn't want to be put up on a pedestal. Doesn't want to be worshipped. That's not what he's about at all. Yeah,
it's so fascinating. And like, even I think about like him as like a healer, and like if you think about like today we have like Reiki, Rahani, angelic energy healing, and like I often think back to the times of like in the Bible, and he helped the blind to see, and he helped all of this, people who couldn't walk to walk. And I'm like I'd love to go back and like he's probably doing like Reiki or like healing, like energy healing on these people, but bringing.
Well, again, as you know, everybody has the ability to heal.
Yeah,
we're all everybody's a healer.
Yeah.
But again, because he was in that 5D consciousness, all of his gifts were open. He was telepathic. He was able to heal. But we all have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
We all have that ability. So he would have been one of the original healers that we know of. But we're all capable of doing that.
Yeah. And he was like showing the way, and it kind of, I suppose, makes sense as to why man was like, oh my God, we need to like, we can't hide this, so we need to take it and flip the script a little bit
Oh
and
yeah.
turn it into like a whole, the Vatican and the church and making people worship you. And like I often think about like um I think like, is it the original Bible is like in the Vatican but nobody's allowed to see it.
Oh yeah. Should they've? Oh, come here. We won't even go there on the Vatican, but yeah,
Yeah.
they've twisted and they hold a lot of secrets that they don't want
Yeah.
anybody to know about because that would be the end of them.
Yeah, and like I
But,
wonder like, and obviously like the Bible is has come from that. And I hear the stories of people like, oh, the Bible was written by people who are on mushrooms or whatever, like but like I imagine some of, because some of what is in the Bible is like treat your neighbor how you'd want to be treated and stuff, and that's like a nice message. But then again, there's a lot of the control of don't do this and don't do that. And I think like eye for
yeah.
an eye is in the Bible as well.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I'm like I want to. I'd love to know like what's in the original. Like what, like why isn't the original a thing that you can go and see, or do you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't make sense. Like
Because if we think about it, if everybody knew the real story of Jesus, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, where they originally came from, what they came here to do, what they hold within, we wouldn't be where we are.
yeah,
I mean, but what's happening now is so many people are starting to wake up and remember the truth. So they're losing their power.
yeah,
You know, people are starting to remember, excuse me, the real story. And yeah, so things are changing.
yeah,
And I do feel in our lifetime, we will see the demise of the Vatican. I do really believe that
yeah,
sooner than a lot of people think, I feel.
yeah.
And the real stories will come out. The truth can never be always hidden. The
Yeah,
truth will always come to light. Always.
exactly.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah,
But I do see there is going to because they have all that information there. Should they know all the secrets of the world? They know how the world works.
yeah.
Do you know? And they're just sitting on that information because they don't want the people to know it because that's
They
the
won't be
end of them
controlled.
then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like they won't have
Exactly.
any control. They can't tell people work 9 to 5, pay your taxes, like all this like stuff. It's like
All the society
yeah, societal
that's
programming. It's like we'll just people be like,
and
well,
that's a
what do you mean?
programming. They have us programmed. So that's where they keep us in our little cage and we're, programmed and we don't realize that we are these extremely powerful beings that are only have a fraction of our gifts turned on, and if we really knew who we were and what we could access, it'd be game over for there'd be
Yeah,
no more control. But that's where we're headed with this. That's where we're heading. I know it's very hard to believe that we could ever be there. But if you look at the difference, I always say, if you look back 10 years ago, you wouldn't be having these conversations on a podcast 10 years ago.
no.
Do you
People
know?
be like,
Like,
lock her up, like she's gone mad.
and we have, like, the world is changing so quickly and souls are waking up at such a speed and they're starting to remember, they're starting to connect in, they're starting to get the downloads. So things are being unveiled. We're in the age of Aquarius. This was always going to happen. And yeah, so I do believe sooner than we feel that all the secrets of the Vatican will come to light because they're sitting on all that all that information.
Yeah. And isn't it
So
amazing how like so much of it's coming out anyway without us even having had to see the
yeah,
original Bible, because people are channeling it, like you and many
yeah,
other people around the world are like channeling this information already. So like you said, the truth will come to light no matter what.
yeah. It's going to, no matter what, they can't stop it, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see how it pans
I
out. But
know, I
they're
know.
they're they're sitting on a lot of the secrets of the world for sure.
I know. I know. Yeah, it's just mad. And like I think about like even Mary Magdalene, and I think I would have heard of her in school, but like she was a bit basically branded as a prostitute or a sex worker.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
but and then actually through like working with Debbie and talking to you, like I'm learning like so much about her and who she was, and and like
Yeah.
even connecting with her energy, and she was this divine feminine, like
Oh, she was one of the highest initiates of the Essene sisterhood. So she like she held the feminine Christ light, which is the counterpart to Yeshua's masculine Christ light. So like without her there wasn't him, you know, the two of them were just as important as each other. So she would have trained in the Essene temple in Mount Carmel here when she was on earth, and that it's all aligned to the Sirius A. So she would have been trained in light body activation, in like womb alchemy, you know, Merkaba mastery, like, you know, healing through sound and vibration, grid work, planetary work, all of that stuff she was trained in. And she was she has a lot of those Syrian priestess codes. And she was basically she held that frequency. She held the frequency excuse me, that allowed Yeshua to reach that full embodiment. So you know, her energy excuse me. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, no, her energy is so beautiful. And again, they tried to dilute the divine feminine. Completely changed her story.
yeah,
You know, it's the same with Mother Mary as well. But Mother Mary then she was again raised within the she would have done a lot of her training again from childhood in the Syrian schools. And then her body then was prepared to hold the vibration required for Yeshua to for that divine conception, the conception through frequency, and that's what they were that was part of her role, was to be able to hold that vibration. So like her whole pregnancy then was that sacred container, and it was watched over by the Essene priestesses and the Syrian beings. And her role then was really to bring the Christ light into physical form. And Mary Magdalene's role then was to help activate it, and the Essene's role then was to protect it. So the three of them are just as important as each other, and the three of them all have that Syrian, Palladian, Andromedan, Lyran, Venus lineage. So yeah, it's just so fascinating, isn't it?
yeah, it is. I'm like, yeah, it's amazing. Like, even think about, and like all the training they did, obviously was like their souls training that they received before they came down
Oh my
here.
god.
And
Yeah.
even like when
Yeah.
you think about like um Jesus and the divine masculine, like of course he needs a divine feminine, because like this feminine is what creates, creates
You
life.
can't have you literally can't have one without the other.
Yeah,
You know, like she literally is. The three of them are just as important as each other. Their energy, one couldn't be without the other. But like as I said, yeah, they completely changed the story of Mary Magdalene.
yeah,
And as you say, made her out to be a prostitute and all this, and really just to dilute that divine feminine. But the
yeah,
divine feminine is rising. This is why she's
yeah,
coming
yeah,
in for so many people now.
yeah,
She's working with so many healers, and that divine feminine energy is really rising again. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
which is again is so needed, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder, like, I'm thinking of like even Mother Mary, like when she was pregnant. I wonder if she knew like how special, like, I'm sure she was
Oh,
so spiritual in herself, like.
my belief, and again I could be wrong. This is just my opinion. I believe they knew exactly who they were. They didn't.
Oh, so
I
they
don't
didn't know what
believe.
this sense of like memory
I
was.
don't. I don't think so. I think they
Yeah,
knew. Now maybe it had to
like,
come back. Like
yeah, remember, yeah,
they remembered, but I fully believe that they knew exactly where they originated from, what they came here to do. In this, when they were on Earth, I fully believe that. I don't feel that they came and didn't know
yeah,
who they were or what the mission was.
yeah. 'Cause it's such a big mission.
Such a huge mission, yeah, absolutely. And that's my belief anyway. I could be wrong on
Yeah,
that, but I do believe they knew exactly where they came from, what their mission was, and what they were here to do.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so interesting, and like even like the story of like Jesus, like Mary the Virgin, and he's born in like, is it not like a little barn, and is it the Archangel Gabriel comes or something, and the three wise men,
Yeah,
and all,
yeah.
like it's mad, like some of the stories are nice, but then of course there's that suppression and that control.
Yeah, a lot of them. You have to take it with a pinch of salt. I feel, as I said, I haven't never read the Bible,
Yeah, yeah.
um, but I would imagine
Not
there
you've read
there'd
the
be.
Bible and you know about so much about them, like.
But you know, well, the true story I know about.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, now I do believe there's probably some truths in the Bible, like there,
yeah,
but a lot of it has been distorted and changed and taken out, and so the foundations might, are probably
yeah,
true, or a bit of the history about it, but a lot of it has been changed and taken out for sure.
yeah. And then there's Sarah.
Yes,
Can you tell us about Sarah? 'Cause I feel like you'd explain it better than I will.
yes. Well, Sarah was their daughter,
Yeah.
um,
So
and
Jesus and Mary Magdalene had Sarah.
they had a girl and a boy.
Oh, did they have a boy as well? Is John the Baptist
Yeah,
his son?
no,
No. Who's John the
no.
Baptist?
No, John the Baptist. No, he's not. He's not their son. He was one of the disciples, wasn't
Okay, yeah, I think he was.
he? Yeah,
It's in my
yeah,
course with Debbie, but I haven't haven't watched that with her.
yeah, yeah. Well, the story from, and again, this is just what I believe and from information that's come to me. But they had a daughter and a son.
Yeah.
The son, I believe, was older, and when Jesus was crucified, they because obviously they wanted to kill off the bloodline, didn't they? They wanted to kill.
Oh yeah,
They
right.
needed to kill off the bloodline. So Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary fled in a boat to France, and I believe then Sarah fled in another boat somewhere else with Peter. And I'm not sure what happened to the older brother. But yeah, Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary then would have gone to France and later reunited with Sarah there.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
because it makes sense like that they'd want to like the bloodline. I think like I remember learning about like that, like they had to flee straight after that, and you're right. Like, and I'm just looking up here, like it says John the Baptist's connection to like kind of New Age thought, stems from his role as a spiritual forerunner. His desert asceticism, mystical initiation, baptism, resonating with New Age themes of direct divine connection, spiritual awakening, and challenging norms.
right,
Um,
okay. Do you know, some believe then, and again, I'm not. Part of me believes this, but I have heard just from research and stuff that I've done and talking to other people, and that a lot of people believe then that Jesus actually didn't die on the cross, that that he would they were able to, from their trainings with the Essene school and the mystery schools and stuff, they were able to, do you know the story that they put a cloth over his face,
yeah,
and some people believe that the cloth that was put over his face actually had some type of liquid in it that actually made him go into what would look like he was dead.
right.
And so some people believe he actually didn't die on the cross. He was confirmed dead. And then obviously they Mary Magdalene was there to wrap him and clean him and do all of that. But I suppose a lot of people believe then that that's how he had risen from the dead. He wasn't actually dead to begin with.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then, yeah, so some people believe he just ascended back up, and then others believe he actually fled as well. So there's kind of there's the two sides of the story.
Okay. So there's like the what's the word? Conspiracy that he fled.
Yeah, a lot of people believe that he actually fled, and he went off. I think some people had mentioned India and stuff like that, but he went to different places. Yeah, so a lot of people believe that he didn't actually die on the cross.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not. I'd like to believe that he didn't. And then others believe that he just ascended, and it was Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and Sarah and stuff who fled. But I'm kind of more on the side that he didn't die on the cross, and that he fled as well, and he continued his teachings, and he continued doing what he was doing, but in quiet, because obviously they were, as you said, they were trying to kill off the bloodline, weren't they? So he would have been hunted down, and
exactly,
you know.
And I wonder, like, I'd love to go to, like, France. I wonder what the energy's like in France, like, with, like, the portals and stuff, if Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary were there.
And they were also in Glastonbury, Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary.
Oh, really?
After, they were in Glastonbury as well. That's why Glastonbury holds a lot of the energies there. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, I think it's amazing. Like, I'd love to find out more about, like, the parts of France and going, like, we love each other retreat or something, wouldn't it? Maybe Ciara can hold a retreat and we can all
Maybe
go.
I will. Yeah.
Mary
Yeah. Well, I'm holding one in Glastonbury. To work
tell us about that.
in July to work on the grid line. So we're going to bring a group of light workers, and we'll be activating codes within them, and then going to clear the grid line in Stonehenge, which is really distorted, and then put the codes into Avebury, which is also connected to that ley line. So we're going to be doing that in July.
Okay, and is this something that you felt like when you went that time with Ciara, known as Ciara's Calling on Instagram, is that like the message you got, that you had to come back with like a group of people?
Yeah, basically on the night of the Lionsgate portal, the 8th, and we got the message very clear that we were to come back with a group and do this work next year. So we're in the process of organising all that at the minute. We're going to be releasing the details after Christmas. So that's because there's a lot of work needed.
Yeah, how will you like orchestrate the group? Like if someone's feeling drawn to it, they're meant to go, type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you'd have to be.
I'll go with the baby. I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Come here, your little one will be putting the codes into the ground. I tell you, he's probably upstairs seeing this one. You would have to be used to energy work. Like it wouldn't be just one of my normal retreats where anyone can come, and you'd have to be like an energy worker.
So have been attuned to Reiki or something, or Hani.
Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, you'd have to be like used to working with energy and stuff. Now you don't have to have ever have done grid work before, because we'd be teaching you how to do that, and we'd be doing that together. But there'll be a lot of activations, a lot of codes. So we'd be doing a lot of the activations in Glastonbury, in the Chalice Wells and stuff like that. That has the very strong Mary Magdalene energy, and the activations there, clearing the ley lines in Stonehenge, and then physically going to Avebury. After everyone's been this would be like on the 3rd day, and putting all of our codes into the ground. So it'd be kind of similar. Remember we were in Tara Hill?
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. I was like, oh my god, if it's anything like that, it'll probably be like the Hill of Tara times 10. And even that was one of the most spiritual things I've ever experienced in my life. And people listening are like, what the hell's going on? But essentially, will I let you tell the story? You probably tell it.
Well, myself and Ciara, my friend, who have been doing the grid work, the information we were getting was that we have to do a bit of work in Tara Hill before we go to Glastonbury. And we went that day. I love Debbie Boyle as well. She's amazing. I've trained with her in quite a few of her levels. And she does a beautiful meditation out in Tara Hill on a Friday. And we just said, right, let's go. We just knew we needed to be there, and we didn't know what we were going to do or what we had. Same when we went to Glastonbury in August. We didn't know why we were going. Well, we knew why we were going, but we didn't know what we were going to do. Like we were, we just kind of went blind. And it was the same. We just knew we needed to be in Tara. And I know myself and yourself had been looking to me for coffee, and another friend of ours. So we were kind of like, why don't we all meet? And it was kind of a bit impromptu. It wasn't planned.
It was a bit impromptu. Yeah, it was.
And we just ended up being on the hill, and Debbie done a bit of a meditation, and then the group went off, and just a few of us stayed back. And yeah, we were just the codes were coming down into us, weren't they?
Oh
Being
my God. I'm
the
actually
light
getting
language
goosebumps about it.
activating and putting the codes into the ground. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was wild.
Yeah. So it was like, it was the four of us that went. You're like, let's go to Debbie's meditation, get a bit of lunch. Debbie then brought everyone up to the hill, did some more meditations. Like you said, everyone kind of went off then. The four of us then, and another woman who was there,
Another lady stayed
like,
back.
oh, I'd actually like to join you. He's like, can I come? Obviously, we're like, yeah, of course. And it all made sense then after everything that happened, because she was there to like
Yeah,
hold space. But essentially,
yeah.
the two Kiras were like, everybody was like speaking light language. But I think like whatever happened to me, I think it was um Kira. I keep calling her her unmarried. Kira, I was like, Kira's calling, came over to me. I don't know why I was shit to my throat, but I was literally like, like I was like, we were basically shouting on this hill. Okay, we were like, there was so much going on, but it was so mad
Mm,
the whole time. I know we were all having like the same but different experiences. Like for me, I kept hearing drums. Like it was like there was shamans like
mm,
drumming the whole time. I could
yeah.
hear like choirs like like singing and stuff. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And it was mad. There was like no one around this whole
Mm,
time. And then when we started to finish and we're wrapping up, then there was like people, like there
started
was
to
people
come then.
everywhere. Like then, yeah, it was
Yeah,
like people
yeah,
walking
yeah.
around and stuff. Um, but I remember being like, what the fuck just happened? Like I remember feeling like I was like 20 feet tall, and I was standing there. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, and just a real connection to the land. I was like, I've been here. Like my ancestors have been here, and even like you, I know like you were even saying to me when we were chatting, like you're like, I'm not sure. I feel like this is my first time in Ireland. But it's like
Mm,
everything that your soul has learned and experienced. Like I feel like your soul is so galactic and starseedy, and so you're here now this time, and then like we all had like such a different experience. Like I was feeling like
mm.
I'm really like I feel really connected to like the Callioch and like the energy of the land, and it was just so amazing. We all had to lie on the grass then for like 20 minutes
Yeah.
afterwards to ground our energy, because I was like, okay, I need to now and be Siobhan.
Yeah, it was wild. It was
Yeah,
wild. But yeah, and that's what I love about doing this type of grid work stuff, because you don't really plan it. You just
yeah,
go, and it's whatever has to come through or whatever is meant to happen. But yeah, it was really powerful, and it's so powerful when you do it in a group as well. So I'm excited for the Glastonbury trip
yeah.
next
That's what
year.
I
Be
mean. Like
amazing.
that was just like five of us. Can you imagine
Yeah,
in a bigger group, and
yeah,
the intention is there already, and
yeah.
yeah, it's just gonna be. It's really healing too. Like I felt really like sounds so much. I felt so healed, but I did. I felt so. I just felt like so much light had come in through me. And that's
Mm,
obviously with the light language as well, which is something that I know you are like so like versed and so like comfortable. Like something I really admire about you is you're so comfortable with your light language and so like part of who you are. And I feel
but
like
that's only been recently, Siobhan. I never was
really,
before. Yeah, like when I
yeah,
first, so my daughter Ava started talking light language when she was 2,
yeah,
and that kind of activated my light language. But for a long time, it was just more like sounds, like humming, and
yeah,
so I it's only really in the last couple of years that
yeah,
I'm more comfortable, and it's still nowhere near, like, I mean, it still has so much to expand. Um,
mhm,
my light language, like I'd love to be able to, like, just, like tune in and say, like, okay, I'm going to speak Palladian light language and just speak
yeah,
Palladian, or like, okay, Lyran light language, and you
yeah,
can do that, like that's possible.
yeah,
I obviously haven't got there yet, but I feel I will,
yeah, absolutely,
because it's opened up a lot in the last couple of years.
yeah.
But I was never cut, like for the first probably 3 years. I was really uncomfortable because I was like, I didn't know
That's
what I was
fair.
doing,
I
and
feel
it's
like I'm
just
there still.
yeah. But
Yeah, I
look, it's
think,
all a journey, isn't it? And you
yeah,
get more comfortable, then you just, and the thing with light language is completely channeled, so you can't control it as such.
yeah,
It just it just comes out. But it's always funny when a new one comes out and you're like, what was that?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it could sound so funny.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Like, I know we talked about it in the first episode we did in season one as well, but like light language is essentially like the language of our soul, the language of
Mm,
the star seeds, the Pleiadians and Syrians and all the
yeah.
other planets. And I was actually trying to explain to a client yesterday. I was talking about you. I was like, you need to go onto your page, and I was recommending Nia as well, who Nia is an incredible light language facilitator, and she does all. We did a lovely ceremony with her, myself, Ciara, the other Ciara, and Eva was part of it as well. But yeah, she basically brings in activations, doesn't she, for like light language?
Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to explain, it's basically like the language of your soul. But it's like a remembrance. It's very much like an I am, like the feeling that I was getting for it is like, although like you're channeling it and you're receiving it, it's not even like someone is. It's like, for me, it was very much like there was times where I felt like I was channeling what someone was saying to me, and I was speaking what they were saying. There's a lot of time like I was just channeling, like it's almost like if I just started speaking German right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm still saying what I'm saying, still talking to
Yeah.
Ciara. So it's still like my presence speaking the dialect, if that made sense.
Yeah.
And that was what really clicked with me in the call with Nia, that I think I was trying to like take it from someone else, take someone else's words. What do you
Yeah.
want me to say? What do you want me to
Yeah.
say for this client or this healing? But it's more like, no, what do you need to say in our dialect almost?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And we all have our own signature light language as well, that is just for your own soul. And
Yeah.
then obviously you can connect in then and channel through like Lyran or Palladian or Syrian or Blue Avian or all the different dialects, but
Yeah.
you will also have your own soul's light language, which I think you kind of tend to speak the most. And then, you know, I defined the different light languages come in. It's mainly when I'm doing healings on people
Yeah.
or when I'm doing like group, group work on the Soul Star Sanctuary. And you'll feel like, say, for instance, I'll know that it's one of my Palladian guides has come in, and then I'll start speaking Palladian light language.
Yes.
You know, but up to that point, it would have been, and they all sound so different as well. You know.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was big for me, that call with Nia, because obviously everyone's speaking light language, and like I said, like it's the very human part of us. Like it's almost like hard, because I'm like, but what am I saying? Like, and
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end of the call, I remember I asked Nia, I was like, what language was that? Like, what dialect was I speaking? And something that really stood out to me was, she was like, I don't need to tell you that, because every time you ask someone a question, like, what am I channeling? What am I saying? You're giving your power away, and you're giving someone
Yeah.
else that space to tell you. She's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
your soul knows, your intuition knows, and I really respected her for that, because I was like, that's actually like probably the best answer she could have given me.
Yeah.
But I felt like myself, like I know I was telling you beforehand, like I felt very much like the dragon energy coming in, and anyone was like, what? Like, yes, there's like a dragon light language, and mine, it's very, like I felt it was very masculine, very deep, and very, I'll have to like like for the
Yeah.
dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was mad. It was coming. It was just spitting out of me, like, and there was lovely messages coming in that Nia was given about the baby, and how the baby's
Yeah.
everything. I remember I had a healing with you, and then you were speaking about the dragons as well, and unbeknownst that Nia had been messaging me about the dragons, I was like, this is just like crazy, like.
Yeah, I love it. I feel that the dragon energy is just coming in really strong around your pregnancy. Just
Yeah.
that protection for the baby as well.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
little one is a proper star seed,
I
Siobhan. Oh
know.
my
Oh
goodness.
my God, I know. I remember Nia saying in that call, there's beautiful messages coming through, and she was like, this baby's gonna want to go everywhere, they're gonna want to meet everyone, they're gonna want to do everything. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be run off my feet. And it's so funny because my son would be quite different, and that like he loves to go out and about, but he's very reserved, very observant, has to like really take time to kind of open up to you, and then when he opens up, he gives you his all. Whereas I feel like this
Oh,
little one is gonna be like, hi, I'm here, like this is me. You know what I mean? So yeah, and like the light language, it's mad. Then I was dying sick after it. I think my body's still like integrating
yeah.
some of it, but again, it was just like that really I am presence. And then it kind of all circles back to like Jesus for me, because I'm like really connecting to my I am presence with Jesus, and him reminding me of the Christ consciousness and everything. So I just feel like light language, if anyone resonates with it, or maybe sometimes you feel like you want to talk gibberish in your meditations, or you just feel really drawn to this conversation, it's like it's coming into the earth now for a reason. Again, that bigger picture of the ascension, the Christ consciousness, the new earth and everything. So it's
Yeah.
all just so connected.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of people it can start as well just with the hands moving. That's
Oh
like, so
yeah.
like that, if you feel like your hands want to move, just let them move. Because a lot
Yeah.
of the times that's kind of how it starts, and then you might, want to hum or make a noise, or again, I just say just go with it. Like, it can
Yeah.
feel a bit strange at the beginning, but then it's just normal then.
Yeah. It's almost very somatic. Like you're just listening to your own body and
Mm,
going with what feels good for you. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see now what's to come
yeah,
next year and
I
everything.
know.
And
I
yeah,
think we're going to see a lot more people speaking light language for sure. Like, I'm having people, some of my Rahani students, after their attunement, their light language is just activating out of nowhere. They would have never spoken before. So one girl didn't even know what light language was.
yeah.
She'd never even heard of it before, and she had her attunement and started speaking it during when we were practicing the healing.
Oh my God.
All of this stuff is being activated for people now, because remember, again, it's all within us.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
within us. It's just whether your soul chose for it to be activated in this lifetime. That's the only
Yeah.
difference. Some
Yeah.
souls are like, no, I'm just going to come and have the experience.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be activated, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But for a lot of us, we were like, no, our gifts are to be activated, and everything's open enough for people. So
Yeah. And I believe you're meant to meet like certain people to like help you with that. Like she's obviously meant to
mm,
work with you to support her with that and
yeah,
but we all kind of like again collectively bring our lights together then and it's so lovely. Um
yeah. Our sure, come here. We've known each other from
yeah.
multiple
I
lifetimes,
remember you saying
probably.
that to me when we met. You're like, we've worked together before. We were working together out and then I was
And a
like,
lot of the
what?
time you do, and you're like, you'll
Yeah.
agree then, okay, when we're here, we'll meet up at this point, and I'll help you do this, and you'll help me do that.
And I'll come on your
That no,
podcast and yeah.
I'll come on your podcast. Like, nothing is by chance.
Yeah.
Everything is divinely planned, and we've soul contracts with everyone we meet,
Yeah.
whether that's good or bad. That's just the way it is. But yeah, it's so
Yeah.
fascinating.
Absolutely. I suppose to wrap it up then on a note of ending this year, I know this year was the year of the snake. Lots
Mm,
of shedding, lots of like rebirth for people. I feel like people being really stripped back to their like
mm,
bare bones and really getting to know themselves. And I know next year is the year of the horse, um,
mm-hmm.
which is like charging ahead, courage, passion, drive. Like let's
Yeah.
take everything we've learned now and bring it in to the new
Mm-hmm.
year. But what would be like? What are you taking from this year, and what is your feelings or kind of intuition for next year and everything?
Yeah, well, look, we always knew this year was going to be a big one for people. There was no getting around that. It's the year 9, which is the year of endings, and then the wood snake, as you say, all about shedding, letting go, new, shedding your old identities and old beliefs and old. A lot of people went through breakups or job losses, and like it was a tough year for people. But I feel next year the energies are. There will still be some challenges. I feel for sure, but I feel overall the energy will be much lighter. Um, but it's so important going into and I'll be doing an event on my Soul Star Sanctuary all about this, all about what to expect and stuff, and I'll be going quite deep into it. But it's so important when you're going into this new year one, the new beginnings, the year of the fire horse. Like, think of it like you don't want to be charging along like the horse with loads of baggage on you that's just going to slow you down.
Yeah.
So I think that's why so many people are purging this time of year. Now I know there's a big flu going around of viruses, but a lot of it for people is actually it's their body's getting a virus is the body's chance to purge,
Yeah.
like energetically purge.
Yeah.
That's happening. A lot of people is like you're just purging the last bit before we move into these new energies. So I do think it's going to be lighter. There will be challenges for people, of course, but nothing that we can't get through. But I do feel it'll be overall an easier year for people, and an exciting one as well, because like that, it's all that new beginnings, isn't it? And
Yeah.
just no stopping you, that type of energy. Just like, it just reminds me of the Chariot card,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
tarot, where
Yeah.
you're just like
Yes,
plowing
literally, it
on.
is like the chariot, isn't it? Next year is like the
Yeah.
chariot card. Um, yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that too. And I feel like although this time of year and it's like New Year's resolutions and the actual New Year is spring, so you know, to not put pressure on ourselves to be like, okay, this is it now, January, new year, new goals, new everything, because it's still a slow start. We're still in the darkness. We're still germinating. We're still the seeds in
And
the soil.
and come here, that's why they, January was never meant to be the new year. Again, that's like that we still should be hibernating and still should be taking it easy and resting. It's still dark. It's still, as you said, that the new year really isn't till coming into spring, and it's the new beginnings. So again, everything, it was just distorted, wasn't it, to kind of knock us off
Yeah.
balance and knock our cycles off and everything. So I never, look, it's great to have a view of what you want to bring in next year and all of that, and maybe have an idea about where you want to go and that type of stuff. But I would never be one to be big like New Year's resolutions and because you often fail then because you're putting so much pressure on yourself. So I just always say to people, just be open for whatever the energy is bringing.
Yeah.
And, just any last little bit of baggage that you need to get rid of, now's the time to do it before we come into this new year. The New Year one, which the Chinese New Year starts in February. February.
Yeah, probably so that's a little bit more aligned.
Yeah. So,
and hopefully, any star seeds or light workers listening, if they resonate with Jesus, maybe this time of year, creating your own relationship with him. It doesn't have it. Maybe it is through the church, and that's beautiful, or maybe it's your own connection. But like we were talking about, the Christ consciousness is rising, and I think he is someone, and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary, they're all really, in my own experience and your own experience, really, really beautiful, protective, supportive, loving energy. And so maybe you feel a bit open now to work with them and connect with them after listening to this episode. But Ciara, thank you so much. I just want to say happy Christmas, everyone, because this will be our Christmas special. So happy Christmas and New Year. I'm sending everyone lots of love for the New Year, the year of the horse, as we were talking about. And yeah, I suppose, what's your plans for Christmas? Just to wrap it up nicely. I know you've got kiddies, so.
Yeah, well, we're in Centre Parks next week, so I'm finishing up work now this week. I'll still be running the Soul Star Sanctuary because that's I'm always on that. But I'm taking a few weeks off. I'm just going to spend it with family. I have my mother-in-law and father-in-law coming over from the UK. We're getting a new kitten.
Oh yeah, I seen you're getting a kitten as well.
Yeah. Oh, would you know what I've never had cats before. I've always had dogs. I love cats. I've never had them, and I've actually used to have a really bad allergy to cats, which I don't seem to do anymore, thank God. But I kept having this dream. This is about 3 months ago or so, and for like 4 nights in a row, I had this dream with this cat with the biggest blue eyes. And the third night I had this dream, my little daughter Amelia says, "Mommy, are we getting a cat?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck.
I think we are."
I think this cat is coming whether we like it or not. So that's how it transpired. And I was looking up, researching the type of cat that I could see, because it was a very specific looking cat. And it turned out it's a ragdoll. And when I was reading about them, I was like, if I was ever getting a cat, because they're literally like dogs. It's a cat and a dog in a cat form, because we have 2 little doggies, so there will be a bit of integration. But yeah, I looked it up, and it turns out there's a lady who has them, and she's literally only 5 minutes from my house. So we're going to pick her up now. We're going to get her. Not even that far away. So we're going to pick her up, Miss Ella. The kids went and met her yesterday, so yeah, we're going to pick her up now.
So they're so excited.
I know. I don't know whether to get her before or after Christmas, but we'll see. She'll come when she's supposed to.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so that'll be my Christmas, and I'm just going to take some time, spend it with the family, enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to the break.
Yeah, absolutely. Well-deserved break. You've had a busy year. And I know people listening probably know you already, but if you want to mention your Instagram handle, your website, where people can find you.
Yeah, my Instagram is awaken with Ciara, and my website then is mariposaholisticwellness.ie. So I put everything that I do is on either my website or Instagram, so you will find me there.
Lovely. Ciara, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into Cosmic Conversations. If you enjoyed this episode, then please let me know. Maybe consider leaving a 5-star review or a comment on what you thought. I'd love to hear suggestions and feedback on any topics you'd like me to explore or unpack, or maybe a guest that you'd like me to have on so I can pick their brain. If you have a cosmic confession or a dilemma that you'd like me to explore next week, then please send it my way on Instagram at cosmicconversationspod or email thecosmiccoach.ie@gmail.com. Thank you and see you next week.